Hello, you're welcome to our Tuesday edition of Nigeria Market. Nigeria Market is an advocacy program of AIDE, and today AIDE is at 10. We're talking about AIDE at 10, and you know what AIDE is? AIDE is an ambassador initiative for development and empowerment, an NGO that have taken the front line to talk about how to revive Nigeria economy through her advocacy. We hold it every Tuesday and Thursday on online streaming. So you're welcome to today's edition, and with me is my colleague, Mr. Samuel Chibene Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Slade, for viewers. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Nigeria Market.
All right. As you all know, today is also bright, and we must thank God. We must have an attitude and gratitude to God. We are alive today. We know a lot of things that are passed by, but we believe God we are in the studio. And before we hit the day of today, I would like us to have what we call a thinking cap. We'll have to think a little while, and in the process of thinking, we'll know why this program is good today for you to listen and watch and play along with us. I'm going to share someone's post that as Nigerians, we must think. It was assumed that, or is actually what happens. 747 is an aircraft, a cargo aircraft, flies into Nigeria every day and goes back empty. And sometimes when it's going back, sandbags are used to fill in the airplane so that it will be stable. Out of 6 ships that bet in our harbors here in Nigeria, 5 also goes back empty. Sometimes what it goes back with maybe salt and gypsum. That's the research done. Then you imagine 200 million people eat and sleep every day, and we don't have anything to offer to the world economy. And all we talk about is oil. We drill oil, and this same oil is drilled by foreign companies. The proceeds of this oil is banked and sometimes shared among us every now and then for over years, and we have not think that we need to think and we need to wear a thinking cap. Anyway, the good news today is that some other person, as in Nigeria, started thinking 10 years ago, and that is why we are here in the studio. So you have to bow down. Let's think and see how we can get Nigeria out of this wood. So we're going to talk about the NGO AIDE today, and as I said, AIDE is 10 years from tomorrow. So we are going to look at how far AIDE come on board. And today, someone who has this vision is with me in the studio. So he's going to tell us how the vision came. So far, he has gone and all the challenges he has done, and the way forward, so that we can actually join hands with him to think along so that we can get out of this hood that I'm just talking about. So you're welcome, Mr. Samuel Chibene Paul. We are grateful that AIDE as an NGO started 10 years ago, and you are the vision carrier. It will interest our viewers and listeners this morning to hear from you how the vision came and how far you have gone.
Wow, thank you, viewers, those who have been with us and those who are joining with us. We are very grateful, and then we want to thank God Almighty that, for me, I think I'm surprised that we are just 10 from yesterday, and today it's just 10 o'clock, 10 years, But I think before we go that, let me just join Nigerians. Over the weekend, Nigerians, it was a Black Friday for Nigeria, so Nigeria lost those who are in the forefront of fighting these insecurities that we're having in Nigeria, talking about the Chief of Army Staff and 11 other soldiers. Nigerians have reacted, military actions and all that. So our deep condolence to the parents, the families of these loved ones. Exactly, not government and all that. So deep condolence. We share in your pain, because the Nigeria insecurity thing that have taken the life of these ones, we believe that they have paid the supreme price, and that their blood will speak, the voice of their blood. Blood has voice. So we speak against those who say Nigeria will not rest. All right, so please, we share in your pain, as Nigerians, and I know that many Nigerians have also been there praying God to comfort the family, and they know that God will comfort you and all that. At over 24, within the last 24 hours, Niger State, Benue State has also had, a whole number of persons, several people killed. These are some of those things that on daily basis you hear it, you feel like, God, please arise and do like the days of Elijah. Okay, so
of course,
but let
we
me.
may not necessarily give only condolence to the family, also give to the nation Nigeria, because it's a loss to Nigeria as a group. As I'm not
We have said to the family.
No, we should say to government too, because government has trained him, spent so much money, and it's a loss for that one person alone. So we must also give kudos and share with the government.
Okay, the Nigerian military,
yes,
it's not an easy thing to lose, that crew,
brain,
at the same time, and of course. All right, so that's all. But let me also just use this. Congratulations to AIDE, congratulations to Dunamis doing their convention. This convention is like the birthday, the Destiny convention, Destiny Restoration Convention. Dunamis is like the birthday of Dunamis, which AIDE happened to also share with the same month with Dunamis. So this is month of Destiny Restoration Convention. So we're also part of that. So congratulations to all Dunamites and others.
So you're saying this vision must have arrived?
Yes, no, but that's definitely yes. Okay. You just asked me how the vision came. Most of our secular musicians, all right, most of our secular musicians, the vision came when they were singing in the choir.
Wow.
Yes, most of them were people who were choristers in the choir, and of course, remember that the inspiration comes from God. I should also say that AIDE also came from choir, in the sense that many years when we came to Abuja during those days of the Niger Delta militancy, and we had thought of a lot of things we want to do as young people. I belong to a single group or a choir in Port Harcourt called Royal Mail Choir. So I think I give this credit to Royal Mail Choir. Though I was not in that meeting, I'm now in Abuja, but I visited Port Harcourt and I was with the music director that week, and we were sharing something. I said, Ken Nnamani, then as the Senate president, was in an event at Bonny, and then saw these young people, all male, the kind of voice you get from Royal Mail Choir. And then to Ken was like, here in Abuja, they think, of course, that's how the media reports it. When something is happening, then you think that every Niger Delta is a militant. You won't believe that there's some other groups of people. And the guy was like, Ken was like, His Excellency, the then Senate President, was, do we still have young people like this in the Niger Delta who are doing this, are not carrying arms, but praising God? It was like, they never believed that they still have people like this in the Niger Delta. So he was so touched. I think dashed them money and promised to do a whole lot of things. And I said, God is speaking to me that we can do some things. And so I came back to Abuja and then began to think, I began to think, how can we do that? Oh, can we do like a concert in support of peace in the Niger Delta? So that's where all the things we're now doing. And then from there, what do we do? I think I spoke to a few Niger Deltas, when I mean Niger Deltas, Cross River, Delta, all of us. And of course, then we all came and met in the Villa Chapel. So Villa also became a rallying point for all of us. And so we started like, can we organize a concert? This is like a church setting. We can use the then president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. See how, because I know he has that passion on how they can quench the problems in the Niger Delta. So what can we do? Let's contribute our quota in making sure. Now, there has been this battered image of the Niger Delta zone. But as young people who are coming, and then we have heard comment from, number 3 citizens of Nigeria. So it means that we need to change that misconception about the people. So let's think of what we will do. I tell you, so that was how the journey started, that was, I think, around 2007, 2006, 2007. And then we had the meetings, we came up with the name Niger Delta Ambassadors. All right. So we started, I remember writing to the former, then Tony Anene was Minister for Works, then his PA, who later also became one of the TAs also. I sent a card. That's why I don't take titles. I don't put titles on ambassador or whatever. So then my friends were like, no, just, this is Niger Delta Ambassador. So you can now pick up that ambassador as a, this is so on the card I now put Ambassador Chimene, so, and then at the reception, sent in the card. The man quickly rushed out that one ambassador, was waiting to see the minister. And so only to see me, and when he saw me, I saw that disappointment in him. I saw the way he, responded to me, and didn't just collect my card and left. I know I felt bad, but that's how the journey began. We wrote to virtually all the governors, states of the Niger Delta, asking them to support this move for us. Now, you won't believe that it was somebody who is not from the Niger Delta, except he's from the Niger Delta, which I have not known. They then essay to Basenjo Political Matters, so Dr. Shino. The only person that responded to us and saw us like, yes, we can work together on this matter was Dr. Shino. I think it's time that we also have to look for them and then share these good memories with them. I think, yes, that was the help of Dickness Ayo then, who was also SA on economic matters to the then president. So you see how this moved. So she took a letter to Oshino, invited us. The first time, we entered the president's from the side of chief of staff and all that, it was, yes, we are ready to work with you. I think that was even like, of all other disappointment that came, everybody you meet, I met one woman who is from the Niger Delta, shared this vision. They were like, okay, let's see how far you go. Let's see how far you go. None of them came up from the people from that region. But this person's approach, really, gave us a lot of comfort and encouragement. And then the journey started.
So you know that as an ambassador, the word ambassador, the name alone is a front line to actually ginger and give you that courage. The word ambassador is like you are representing a group of persons in another city. So we are assuming that the Niger Delta, as it was.
Yes, that was our focus. That all the people from the Niger Delta who are outside the region,
and then there was an image that we're struggling to manage. Then you come out with that, and we expected someone who is from that same zone to welcome you, but he was looking at the foreign ambassador.
Yes, that's why we just do that. Yes,
that's an impression, but then that shouldn't deter you. I believe that is why that wasn't even.
So those were spring balls that helped us to work
go this far. So I think it's a good thing as an ambassador, as you use the word ambassador. Today, we say Ambassador Initiative for Development and Empowerment. Empowerment in the sense that we are empowering Nigeria through this platform to be able to know what we need to do so that our economy can actually, be put back to place. So today we're going to look so far the journey and what is your input over these years? What you have achieved? I know then when AIDE started, I was passive. Then your breakfast meeting I was attending, and today I'm active under the Nigerian market. So I know it has been a but I would like you to give us in details what AIDE has been achieved within these 10 years.
Okay, fine. Let me just say before we talk about the program, the journey. I want to let me not forget it. Okay. When we got, like I said, this was from choir. But it didn't end there, I remember that we were also in church one of these days when the vision was more like, okay, we need to really start. And yes, we started working and doing one or two things to raise money. And I had two options in mind, registering a restaurant business, going into a restaurant business, and going into the registration of this organization. And I've been hearing like ask God for direction, the will of God. and we are trying to practicalize it. We're in Bible school that time. So I just called a few of my friends and said, I have two things in mind. There's money I'm expecting now. So let's just say that God tell us what to do. Is it to do the restaurant or this NGO? And then we prayed briefly. And our leader then God said, go and register the NGO because his hand is in the NGO.
All right.
And so we went ahead to register the NGO. But it took us a lot of struggles. Like we said, the first intention was to create, an image for the Niger Delta. It was very difficult because CAC rejected. We now started the process of registration, and they just kept rejecting Niger Delta ambassador, Niger Delta, anything that was Niger Delta then, CAC rejected. Now, the name Ambassadors Initiative for Development and Empowerment, I can still tell you now, I don't know who gave that name. Because yes, it was at CAC. Yes, it's a CAC staff.
Okay, so they're fine-tuning.
So just fine-tuning.
So that
We have seen that you want to register this. So let me give you. So they fine-tuned this to say Ambassadors Initiative for Development and Empowerment. You cannot do any other AKA and all that. So we will now saw the name AIDE with the acronym. That sparked off a lot of things. So it now goes beyond the just Niger Delta agitations and all that. Okay. And of course, you see that have just gone after the problem was settled. Now that was how we started. You now know that God said, go, my hand is in it. And then we just did the registration and kept the certificate. And in less than 6 months, we appointed one of the government consultants. That's during the MDGs. So we became state consultant on monitoring and evaluation of MDGs programs and the project. Now, know that our first vision was not to just work for government. The vision was the people. All right. So that's what led to, after about a year, and we now sat and said, no, AIDE was not just meant to be a consultant to government and all that. AIDE was, was formed to touch lives. All right, so that was how the programs started. Okay, what do we do now? Because we are part of the monitoring and evaluation of government programs and projects, and we have crisscrossed Delta, Ekiti, we've seen, how that disconnect between the government and the people.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see how we can rally around to begin to bridge this gap between the government and the people. So that's how we started programs like the executive breakfast meeting for young entrepreneurs. And then we wrote Smedan and the Obligers partnership, giving us resource persons, and all that. Then from the breakfast meeting, and so many other things that were coming. Personal life experiences were also part of it. Now, then skill acquisition was also the thing. Also, okay, we will try to see how we can organize some skill acquisition program for widows. Okay, so we're also trying to touch widows. So all those things were under the vocational training programs of AIDE.
Yeah.
And then you remember that sometime I also had a health challenge. I saw how God helped me, and all that. And when I saw a woman passing one day, I saw the way I was limping. And when this woman was limping, I discovered that probably if this woman had the opportunity I had, she wouldn't have been walking like that.
Of course.
All right. So I had an opportunity to have good government facility, do physiotherapy for like 6 months, and my leg was better. And so that led us to now start the AIDE community clinic, so that where we can reach out to people, and then again from the community clinic, which was like an outreach, medical outreach, but there was this specific program, Save a Life. Save a Life was also a campaign that AIDE wanted to use to touch the life of these rural people in the community using the community clinic. So just asking Nigerians to donate 1,000. We're trying to look at how abroad they raise money for projects like this, talking about the $1 project and all that. But in Nigeria, it is not an easy thing. So all the campaign you are just trying to do, okay, people will just be like, I still remember that till tomorrow, somebody will always ask me, 1,000 rand to save a life. How possible is that? Of course, that is their own understanding, okay, and then we just keep on going like that. Now, since we have worked with government, and then that aspect of economic development also came, and so we're like, okay, there's too much poverty in the land. This poverty thing has been on since, and then both government and I don't know how we're all keeping quiet and not coming up with the cogent measures to see how we can tackle the issue of poverty. And so that's how we now came with the Global Partnership for Poverty Reduction.
Yeah.
And so we launched that consultative meeting, brought everybody. That was one program I saw that we wrote to both government, development partners, and did not do reminder. But that day, virtually from every angle, people who were there, and all the people who invited came. And well, you understand? So that's part of what we have just done. The Global Partnership for Poverty Reduction and all that. Though that it was like a consultative forum. Now, after meeting with civil society organizations on what can we do, and then meeting with government and development partners, I didn't see that response to continue with that project. I think we paused on the project. Not that we stopped. We just paused.
You paused on the project.
Yes, we
so
paused
we're
on the
going to
project.
pause so that when we talk to our viewers who are listening to understand where we are getting to. We are saying 8 at 10. And before I started, as an opening remark I started with today, I said Nigerians must begin to think, begin to wear that thinking cap. And I give you a scenario that where we are offering nothing to the world exception of the oil we have. And at the end of the day, this oil, the proceeds of this oil, we share it and go back and sleep. And we say we need to think. And I said someone has started thinking 10 years ago. And it was in the process of his thinking that this vision to start something that will be humanitarian came on board, that this NGO is born today or is better. So we're talking about AIDE at 10. And so far, what AIDE has achieved over the years and how the vision came is what we've been actually, analyzing. But today, it has actually gone deeper than what we expect. And we're talking about economic emancipation.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why we are on the platform today. This beautiful platform called Nigerian Market was also born. And because of time, I would like you to quickly begin to give us round up. Tell us your final say, the reset. 10 years. What is AIDE planning the next 10 years to come?
All right. Thank you so much. Now, we'll look at, thank God has helped us for these 10 years. Tomorrow will be exactly the 10 years. So we also mark the 10 years anniversary tomorrow. So we'll be here and maybe we'll talk about it and do some cake cutting and all that. But quickly, like you said, we just keep thinking. We have initiated Global Partnership for Poverty Reduction because each time you go out to the street, you hear how people lament. But unfortunately, we are just the talking nation, no doing nation. And that's why we like consuming nations and not producing nations. And you saw when the COVID came. Now, while some people are just there shouting for palliatives and all that, most of us were thinking, just close our doors. Lord, what do we do? So I think I need to also give all glory and credit to God because the initiatives have always been inspiration from God. Right. Now, the moment the president announced the lockdown, the first 3 days we locked ourselves inside and opening to come out. It's lockdown, so everybody is locked inside. Yeah. Then we locked ourselves and then we opened on the third day, and then the idea of Nigerian market because it was very obvious. Those words where we rushed to, we are all shut down, so we couldn't go anywhere. So what do we do? And then God starts speaking to us that we need to begin to speak to Nigerians, to look inward. Nigeria is blessed. There's nothing you are looking for outside that we don't have in Nigeria, but just for people to sit down and begin to think. Yeah. And so that's what led to the name Nigerian Market. I don't know how we came about it, but that's how it just came. Nigerian Market. Let's begin to talk, because when you say Nigeria is the market, for all those people all those foreign manufacturers or producers, they see Nigeria as the market. And that's why they come. So that's why they always come to Nigeria. So we looked at it, if Nigeria is the market for the world, why can't we now look inward and see how we can take advantage of even growing our own market? So that's how the name Nigeria Market came about. And of course, you know that it is really reaching. The focus is let us begin to see how we can look inward, let's develop, let's eat what we produce, let's patronize those who are producing this so that we grow our rural or local economy, because the naira will keep weakening when everybody is rushing to go and import and then we're not producing anything. So that's how the Nigerian Market vision came about. And I think we are just going, and time is not our friend, but it's something we just keep discussing. Probably like Thursday will now, come, because
Big
that's like
Nigeria
the
market
next
itself.
the
Yeah.
next
Phase.
phase of AIDE.
AIDE.
So we just continue that.
Yeah. Maybe on Thursday we're going to talk the reset. That's what you mean.
The reset.
So because of time, we may not be able to give you so much. But then I must leave this message that we must all begin to think. Just like a fellow has started thinking 10 years ago, and he has been able to come up with this platform, and where it has given us opportunity that now we can even buy virtually, not going to the physical market. And that's why this program is here. And the overall benefit is for us to grow the economy and make our economy independent. So we want to thank everyone who have listened, who is watching us. We always advise and encourage you to share your views, join your voices with us. You say a tree cannot make a forest. So when we all of us come together, put our points together, I think we'll be able to make a better Nigeria for us. So we're going to leave for now till Thursday. Before we leave, we'll always continue to wish you well and ask that you have a good attitude to be able to have a gratitude that you can be able to thank God. So before you leave, as we normally say, remember to buy Nigeria to grow Nigeria. Bye.